Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. I have been outside doing chores this morning, and y'all, it's still early, but it's already very hot and humid. In fact, our temps are supposed to feel like we are in 100-degree weather today, right? When you factor in that humidity, and that's probably due to the storm that is headed our way, right? So you all, but anyway, I'm doing a video today that's a little different than what I normally would talk about on the channel, but I decided that I would go ahead and talk about it because it has me wondering. So listen, you all, many of us have streaming services that we use to watch whatever programs, right? I know, we have YouTube TV. Mr. H is not missing his football games, neither am I. So we do have YouTube TV for streaming service, and we also have Netflix. All right, now you all, I found this to be really strange, but I'm going to share with you all what I have experienced. And I told Mr. H about it, and we both thought that it was really strange that something like this would happen. So we decided to publicly share it with you all and just kind of get the conversation started in the comment section below, so that we can decide or try to figure out, is this isolated, or how many people out there have experienced this, right? Because if one person is reporting it, then it will probably go unnoticed. If just a handful of people are reporting it, it's going to go unnoticed more than likely. But if we put it out there so that we can make people know and make people aware that this is what's happening, so that perhaps those who are in charge of these streaming services will be forthcoming with us about what is happening, right? Because the last thing we want is to be subscribed to a streaming service where our information can be stolen and or hacked, you know what I'm saying? So that's not something that we want to happen to us. Now here's the thing that happened. About a month ago, I couldn't sleep. I was up. It was probably like 3:30 or so in the morning, and I was up, and I was in my living room, and I had it on, the TV was on, and I was looking at YouTube TV, and I was looking at the late night news programs and all of that, and I was just sitting there watching it and hoping that I would kind of get a little drowsy. Looking at the same old boring news program, because you know what they're going to talk about, which is primarily what they talked about during the day. They're just going to kind of reiterate it on the night program, right? So I was watching ABC is what I was watching, but I was on YouTube TV. Now, I decided that, hey, let me just see what's on live TV. Still YouTube TV, but let me just see what's on live, because you do have an option. You can go to your recorded shows. You can go to, there's a section where you can choose like the channels that you watch the most. It'll bring that up and all of the programs that you typically watch, so you can choose that, or you can go to live, right? And so I selected live TV, 3:30 or so in the morning, you all. And as I'm scrolling through, looking to see what's actually on the TV program, I'm just scrolling. You know how we do when we're trying to find anything to look at, because we're so bored or tired and like me, just having trouble sleeping that night. So as I'm scrolling through the menu, the entire menu is in English. Let me say that, all right? Now, if you have YouTube TV, there are settings. You can choose your language, okay? But ours is always on English, right? So I'm scrolling through the menu, trying to see what is on live. I don't know. One of my favorite TV shows from the 90s was Martin, right? So I'm just scrolling through, seeing if there's Martin on or something, But in the midst of my scrolling, my entire menu changed from English to Chinese. And I'm saying Chinese because I don't think that's the language that they all use. I don't think it's like Mandarin. I don't know, right? But I'm just gonna say Chinese, all right? So I'm scrolling through and the entire menu changes from English to Chinese, and I'm still scrolling down and I'm like, what is going on here? And I'm still scrolling. And I'm like, the entire menu is in Chinese, right? And then all of a sudden it flashes and the TV goes back to English. Now that happened and it lasted maybe 10 seconds or so. It didn't last for an extended period of time. It was like 10 seconds. It went from English to Chinese, okay? Now that was about a month or so ago. And I told Mr. H that, and I asked him, and this was in the living area of our house, okay? So I told Mr. H about what happened, and we both thought it was, you know, very, very strange that something like that would happen. And so I started kind of looking for it again, but it hasn't happened that I know of, because I'm not typically up at 3:30 every morning. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye out for it, but I haven't seen it, right? All right. Fast forward to yesterday, which would have been the 23rd, I think, of September. Yeah, the 23rd, Monday, the 23rd of September. I am up again, but this time I'm in my bedroom. And it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up. And I have the TV on mute, but I have the captions on. So I'm really just trying to fall asleep. So I'm actually reading the captions of the program. And I was on Netflix this time, not YouTube TV. I was on Netflix in our room, okay? And so I'm watching this program called The Resident. I had never watched it before, but I'm watching this program called The Resident. I was in episode 1, and I'm kind of looking at it, you know, and I watched it all the way through to the end of the first episode, and I will say I did not like it. But I watched it through to the very end. And when I got to the end, and you know how the credits start coming across the screen, you know, directed by, produced by, all of that, you know, and the names of the actors and actresses, all of that's coming on the screen, okay? And as that's playing out, it immediately switches, like within 2 seconds of the credits starting, 2 or 3 seconds, it switched from English to Chinese, right? And I literally sat straight up and I started looking at it, and they was flashing in Chinese, you know, like they would do if it was in English. And then it went off and went to episode 2. So what I did was I went back to episode 1, and I fast forwarded from the beginning all the way to the end, just before the credits started rolling. And I let it play to see if it was going to do it again, and it did not. All of the credits stayed in English, and I did it 3 times to see if it was going to switch from English to Chinese, and it did not. It stayed in English all the way through until you have the little bar that says next episode, and then it kind of lets you know when the next episode is about to start. So I sat there and I watched it 3 times, and it went clearly through all in English. But that first time it started in English and then jumped to Chinese, a different language, right? And I literally was like, what is going on here, you know? So I told Mr. H about it. Well, he knew about the YouTube TV. I didn't tell him about this one that I experienced last night, because when he got up this morning, hey, we was just trying to get him out the door for work. But in any case, I'm gonna tell him about this experience that just happened here on Netflix. So here we are in September of 2024, and this happened with Netflix. And then in August of 2024, it happened on YouTube TV, okay? So I'm just sharing that with you all. I know this is a little different from, you know, canning and growing vegetables and harvesting and our livestock and all of that, but I felt like I wanted to share, because I wanted to know how many of you have experienced it. Just share it in the comment section because I want to know. We all want to know. I would love to know. And what do you think that actually means? Are our streaming services being hacked now? And if so, what's the purpose of them hacking streaming services? Is it to take the information of those who are subscribed to these streaming services? What is it for, right? Why are you hacking into streaming services? Identity theft is the first thing that comes to my mind. Taking the information, payment information, name, address, all of that of those of us who are subscribed to different streaming services. So you all, look, let me know in the comment section below if you have a streaming service. That is, not everybody has streaming services, but if you have a streaming service and you've experienced that somehow, where it literally just would flash and it wouldn't even last long. It would only last about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds and not very long at all. And then it goes right back to English. What does that mean to you? Especially if these are two different streaming services, okay? YouTube TV and Netflix, two different streaming services. And it happened on two different occasions, but they never last a long period of time, maybe 10 seconds, and then bam, it's gone and it's back to English. So y'all, let me know in the comment section what you think about that. I'm gonna get back to work out here, do as much as I can before it just gets so hot. I have burgerkins everywhere out here. I did not plant them. I did not plant them. I'm thinking a chicken or something and brought a burgerkin over here or whatever the case, and now I have burgerkins just everywhere. And I've been harvesting them from here, and I've been harvesting them from our raised bed, but I'm not going to harvest anymore from this area right here. I'm going to let them go ahead and continue to develop and grow so I can start collecting the seeds from these burgerkins, and then they will be on our seed shop when our seed shop reopens. Okay, so you all, whew, yeah, I'm just gonna let those go because they're everywhere, and there's no sense in me going in there trying to harvest any of them when I got plenty in my raised bed garden. I got plenty over in our smaller garden, and no, I didn't plant them at all. That's one thing I can say about burgerkins. If you plant them and you grow them and you leave one to ripen and leave it out there, you don't have to do anything special to it. If it gets smashed or whatever, you don't have to worry about it. I guarantee you those seeds will somehow go into the soil and overwinter, and next year you will not have to do a thing. Let them grow and collect your burgerkins, okay? All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, please post in the comment section below. I really want to know, like, have you all experienced this? It can't just be me, right? So please let me know if you all have experienced this, and then share that in the comment section below. Doesn't just have to be YouTube, TV, and Netflix. Whatever streaming service you have, if you have experienced this, we need to talk about that in the comment section below, and we need to make people aware, because we don't need our information being stolen, sent all the way to China or wherever, right? So y'all let me know in the comment section below, all right? So thank you all so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and I will see y'all in the next video.